Hello and good evening and welcome to Express News on DD India. I am Gautam Roy. Let's begin now with what happened in the Lok Sabha. Well, in the Lok Sabha today, Union Home Minister Amit Shah reiterated that the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is fully normal. Replying to supplementaries during question hour in the Lok Sabha, Amit Shah said restrictions in all police station areas have been lifted and there was not a single death reported due to police firing after the scrapping of Article 370. He said incidents of stone pelting have also come down in the valley and essential services have been restored completely. The lower house has witnessed heated arguments between Home Minister Amit Shah and Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary over the issue of Kashmir. During the arguments, Home Minister said that the government cannot make Congress's condition normal because the main opposition party had predicted bloodshed after the abrogation of Article 370, but nothing of that sort happened. Followed by arguments between Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary over the issue of Kashmir in the Lok Sabha today, the HM informed the House that Panchayat polls in Kashmir were conducted peacefully for the first time in the state. Citizenship Amendment Bill 2019 was passed in the Lok Sabha little past midnight on Monday, and it drew a wide range of reactions from different parts of the country the day after. The bill that grants Indian nationality to non-Muslims from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh invited different reactions from various leaders, parties and groups in the country. Manipur MP Rajkumar Ranjan Singh expressed happiness on the passing of CAB in the lower house. He also thanked Prime Minister Modi for always keeping his word on issues concerning Manipur. Meanwhile, a day after Shiv Sena voted in favour of the Citizenship Amendment Bill in the Lok Sabha, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray said that the party will back the bill in the Rajya Sabha only if all doubts over it are cleared up. On the echo of the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2019 being passed in the Lok Sabha on Monday, the North East Students' Organisation, that's NESO, has called for a dawn to dusk Bandh in North East India. Schools and shops were shut, vehicles remained off the roads due to the Bandh. Train movement was also affected as the protesters also blocked rail tracks at a few places. In response to queries regarding comments made by US Commission on International Religious Freedom, that's the USCIRF, on the Citizenship Amendment Bill, official MEA spokesperson has said that the statement made by the USCIRF on the Citizenship Amendment Bill is neither accurate nor warranted. Every nation, including the United States, has the right to enumerate and validate its citizenry through various policies. The 126 Constitutional Amendment Bill that aims to extend the duration of SC/ST reservation in educational institutions and employment opportunities has passed in the Lok Sabha today. On addressing the eve of Human Rights Day at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi, President Ramnath Kovind has lauded the National Human Rights Commission for its efforts in elevating the growth of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The President expressed his grave concern over recent incidents of heinous crimes against women in the country as well. The Supreme Court is hearing a batch of pleas challenging the constitutional validity of the Centre's abrogation of the provisions of Article 370, which gave special status to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. Petitioner's lawyer argued that Article 370 gave the procedure for its amendment, which the central government did not follow. Twitter India has declared Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tweet, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Vijay Bharat, as the golden tweet in India in 2019. The tweet celebrating the Bharatiya Janata Party's re-election victory was the most retweeted and liked tweet of the year. Campaigning for the third phase of Jharkhand Assembly elections has come to an end today. Polling for 17 constituencies spread over 8 districts will be held in the third phase on the 12th of this month, while counting for all phases will be held on the 23rd of December. The Ministry of Defence has launched the 11th Biennial Edition Def Expo 2020 in Lucknow today. The theme of the event is India, the emerging defence manufacturing hub and digital transformation of defence. The Def Expo 2020 will cover the complete spectrum of the country's aerospace, defence and homeland security interests. In response to an interview on the sidelines of COP25 in Madrid on Monday, Minister for Environment Prakash Javadekar has called for speedy expansion of International Solar Alliance to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. He also said India is taking massive lead in fighting against climate change. For the first time, India ranks among the top 10 in this year's Climate Change Performance Index presented on Tuesday at the COP25 Climate Summit in Spain, Madrid. According to the data released, the current levels of per capita emissions and energy use in India ranked 9th in the high category that are still comparatively low. Ahead of India-Japan summit talks, Japanese Trade Minister Hiroshi Kajiyama met Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal in New Delhi today. Union Minister for Culture and Tourism Prahlad Singh Patel has digitally launched the web portal Indian Cultural Web today. This portal is an interactive, user-friendly interface which helps to preserve the cultural artifacts of India. The IIT Bombay was entrusted with the task of building such a resource from scratch. Pollution levels in Ghaziabad, including Delhi NCR, have increased once again to 419 in the morning, which puts it in the severe category. Although the government and the administration are taking a lot of measures for the prevention of pollution, there is no reduction in pollution levels. The ban on construction work has been lifted after the Supreme Court order on Monday. In an effort to check hoarding and boost domestic supply of onions, the centre has put a ceiling on the stock holding limit to 2 tons from 5 tons for retail traders. Consumer Affairs Minister has directed the state governments to undertake anti-hoarding operations with immediate effect on retail traders. One of the convicts in the case has filed a review petition before the Supreme Court. The convict was sentenced to death by a trial court in the case. His sentence was upheld in Delhi High Court and the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has already rejected review petitions filed by other convicts in the 2012 Delhi gang rape case. Kerala government has ordered CBI inquiry into the death of musician Bala Bhaskar. Bala Bhaskar and his 2-year-old daughter had died on the 25th of September last year in a car accident. The decision has been taken on a complaint of his father, who had raised suspicion over his death. Countdown for the launch of PSLV C-48 mission commenced today evening. The radar imaging Earth observation satellite in the 50th PSLV mission by ISRO. The satellite will also carry customer satellites of Israel, Italy, Japan and USA as co-passengers on its flight. The launch itself is scheduled tomorrow from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota. The Supreme Court is to hear a batch of pleas challenging the constitutional validity of the centre's abrogation of the provisions of Article 370, which gave special status to the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. The BSE Sensex today dropped 247.55 points or 0.61% lower to close at 40,239.88. The broader Nifty dropped 80.7 points or 0.68% down to close at 11,856.80. Gold prices fell by 95 rupees to 38,460 per 10 grams in the national capital due to weak demand and a stronger rupee, according to HDFC Securities. Taking cues from gold, silver also fell to 128 rupees to 44,607 per kg from 44,735 per kg from yesterday's trade. The Indian rupee appreciated by 11 paise to trade at 70.93 against the US dollar intraday. Crude oil futures fell by 21 rupees to 4,176 per barrel as participants reduced positions amid a weak trend in global markets. Market regulator SEBI has said it has not been able to reach a complainant who made a series of allegations against the market infrastructure and said it cannot take any actions in absence of documents or verifiable details. Domestic passenger vehicle sales slipped into negative territory once again in November. According to data released by the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, passenger vehicle sales declined 0.84% to 2,63,773 units. The country's largest lender, State Bank of India, has reported about 12,000 crore rupees divergence in their bad loans for the last fiscal. According to the assessment done by the RBI, the gross NPA of the SBI was 11,932 crore rupees. Paytm Payments Bank has issued 6 lakh FASTags in the month of November and claimed that it has equipped over 1.85 million vehicles with FASTags. US retail major Walmart would open 25 institute hubs in India in the next 5 years, which would retrain 50,000 entrepreneurs from the micro, small and medium enterprises sector. The company would create Walmart Riddhi Supplier Development Program to prepare Indian small businesses to enter global supply chains. German automaker Volkswagen AG has been charged with importing nearly 128,000 vehicles into Canada, breaching the Canadian Environmental Protection Act by importing vehicles that did not conform to prescribed emission standards, Canadian Environment Ministry has said. Saudi Arabia announced a $272 billion budget for 2020, a slight fall in spending that reversed 3 years of expenditure increases intended to spur growth. The World Trade Organization's top court has been effectively sealed, with the US saying it would not support a proposal to allow the court to continue. WTO said it faced a serious crisis with the demise of its appeals body, but remained hopeful that a resolution could be found. A day after volcanic eruption killed at least 5 in New Zealand, around 8 more are missing and presumed dead. In the eruption, around 34 people survived, with 31 still receiving medical treatment. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said observation flights showed no signs of life on White Island. Ardern said tourists from Australia, the US, Britain, China and Malaysia were among the dead, missing and injured, along with New Zealanders. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said that 3 Australians are feared to be among the confirmed fatalities from New Zealand volcanic eruption. New Zealand police said that police will now launch a criminal investigation into the circumstances of the death and injuries on White Island. More than 30 people were injured during the eruption, 27 of which have suffered greater than 71% body surface burns. Procedural hearing on Christchurch mosque attacks began in New Zealand's High Court today. More than 30 family members and victims of the gathered the court to attend a procedural hearing. Myanmar's leader Aung San Suu Kyi arrived at the UN's International Court of Justice at The Hague to defend her country over charges of genocide against its Rohingya Muslim minority. US President Donald Trump has said US Justice Department's internal watchdog report on the FBI's investigation into contacts between his presidential campaign and Russia in 2016 revealed details that were far worse than anything he would have imagined. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador urged US House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi to make a decision about the US-Mexico-Canada agreement, saying it was time to move forward with the trade deal. He said that Mexican senators have already accepted changes to the USMCA presented by the government. In Lebanon, anti-government protesters clashed with soldiers and pro-government demonstrators in front of a politician's house in Tripoli. Protesters angry at the political establishment gathered in front of the home of lawmaker Faisal Karami, where they faced off with a group of his supporters. Army and security forces fired tear gas to disperse protesters. The clashes came as a tentative deal on a new prime minister unraveled, leaving the country rudderless as it grapples with the worst economic crisis since the 1975 to 1990 civil war. As Hong Kong grapples with more protests, CEO Carrie Lam has said that a cabinet reshuffle was not her immediate task. However, restoring law and order is. The statement has come 2 days after protesters broke out once again in the Chinese-ruled city. Carrie Lam said that the political figures should stop going overseas to make false allegations and everyone should cherish the rule of law in Hong Kong. She also called on foreign governments and institutions to stop interfering in Hong Kong's affairs. Protesters gathered in Algerian capital of Algiers ahead of Thursday's highly controversial presidential election. Algiers has been protesting since February, demanding the elite ruling the country should quit. Heads of state around the world grappling with protests could face further citizens' anger if they cannot re-engage with unhappy populations, United Nations Development Programme Ashim Steiner has said. He said demonstrations in Latin America and elsewhere are connected to impatience with leaders who need to address the inequalities of the 21st century. Ukraine and Russia have agreed to implement a full and comprehensive ceasefire in eastern Ukraine by the end of 2019 after top-level talks. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met face-to-face in Paris. The leaders also agreed to the release and exchange of all conflict-related detainees by the end of the year. They pledged to disengage military forces in 3 additional regions of Ukraine by the end of March 2020. Days after Berlin slammed Kremlin for its lack of cooperation and probe into murder of a Georgian man, Russian President Vladimir Putin said the man murdered in Berlin in August was himself a killer who took part in bloody acts on Russian soil. The Chilean Air Force reported the disappearance of one of its cargo planes that was headed to a base in Antarctica with 38 people on board. A state of alert was declared and a search and rescue team was activated. A gunman opened fire in a hospital in the eastern Czech city of Ostrava, killing 6 people, Czech Health Ministry said in a statement. According to the police, the gunman fled the scene and soon after shot himself fatally in the head. In Australia, Sydney's Golden Beaches turned black after ash from nearby bush fires fell along its coastline. Authorities said that heat wave in the coming days could reach 40 degrees Celsius, threatening the spread of fires and new blazes. In Peru, a landslide mowed down homes, bridges and vehicles at the weekend following heavy rains. 10 homes and 7 bridges were destroyed and damaged. In the incident, no deaths have been reported. Globetrotters Zeus McClurkin and Maxwell Hobbs Pierce performed a variety of tricks and made baskets from all 8 levels of the vessel in a hoop on the ground. The vessel was honeycombed spiral staircase made up of 154 flights of stairs and 2,500 steps. Artist David Dattuna said that he was not sorry for eating a piece of artwork by Italian artist Maurizio Cattelan. 2 days earlier, Dattuna ate a banana that was taped to a wall as part of Cattelan's artwork titled Comedian. The piece fetched $120,000. Walmart Canada apologized for listing on its website a Christmas sweater that featured an illustration appearing to depict Santa getting ready to snort cocaine. A midnight blue velvet gown that Princess Diana wore when she danced with John Travolta at a 1985 White House state dinner failed to sell at an auction, though 2 of her other dresses went for above their estimated prices. US First Lady Melania Trump helped make Christmas cards for those in need and greeted children with presents from her Be Best initiative at the Marine Toys for Tots drive in Washington. A national park in Netherlands is making an unusual offer to visitors this holiday season. Come and chop down your own Christmas tree for free. The tree scheme will run for next 2 weekends with a limit of 1 tree per visitor. Russian children's sledge hockey team Krysla Sovetov played a friendly game with hockey veterans and celebrities in Moscow. The game was held to celebrate people with physical disabilities as well as to raise awareness about climate change. The match ended in a draw. Bansky's new Christmas art installation was unveiled in Birmingham, seeking to raise awareness towards issues of homelessness. Titled God Bless Birmingham, the installation appeared on a brick wall in Birmingham, United Kingdom. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Moscow has grounds to appeal WADA decision to ban Russian athletes from sporting events for 4 years. Putin has added that WADA decision is violating Olympic Charter. Paralympics chief Andrew Parsons expressed disgust at Russian authorities letting down the country's clean athletes after the WADA ban. He's called for a clear guidance over the participation of the athletes. It was West Ham versus Arsenal at the Premier League. In English Premier League, Arsenal defeated West Ham by 3 goals to 1. They ended 7-match winless streak in the league. West Ham manager Manuel Pellegrini says that he is not worried about relegation from the top tier. West Ham is above the bottom 3 by only a point. India are all set to take on West Indies for the 3rd and deciding T20 International to be played at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. Both teams have won 1 match each in the 3-match series. West Indies all-rounder Fabian Allen ruled out of the series decider, 3rd and final T20 International against India tomorrow. Allen is yet to recover from a knee injury. West Indies coach Phil Simmons says that the team would be relying on skipper Kieran Pollard for the 3rd T20 International. Simmons says Pollard's experience in IPL would be valuable for the team. New Zealand skipper Kane Williamson has said that the Kiwis need to readapt quickly to the challenge of a day-night test series against Australia starting the 12th of December. The 3-match series will conclude in January 2020. Actor Sunil Shetty has been named as brand ambassador of the National Anti-Doping Agency, that's NADA. The actor was felicitated at an event organized by NADA and Ministry of Sports. Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju was also present on the occasion. Indian shuttler PV Sindhu would be eyeing a turnaround as she will fight to defend her title at the BWF World Tour Finals in Guangzhou, China on Wednesday. Sindhu will open her campaign against Japan's Akane Yamaguchi. The 13th edition of South Asian Games concluded in Kathmandu. India dominated the tally with a total of 310 medals, comprising 173 golds, 93 silvers and 44 bronze medals. Indian boxers dominated the final day of the 13th South Asian Games, clinching 6 golds and 1 silver. Pakistani cricketer Nasir Jamshed pleads guilty to a conspiracy to bribe fellow cricketers as part of a T20 spot-fixing coup. He, along with 2 others, will be sentenced on a date to be fixed in February. Indian men's football captain Sunil Chhetri has signed a 3-year deal with the global sports giant Puma. With this, Shetty joins the brand's roster of global players like Antoine Griezmann, Romelu Lukaku, Luis Suarez and Sergio Aguero, among others. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has said that the last Champions League group stage game against Salzburg is like playing a final. Liverpool need to avoid defeat against the Austrian side to make certain of reaching the knockout phase. Barcelona coach Ernesto Valverde has said that Messi's absence in the game against Inter is a result of busy calendar. Says he makes decisions based on what is best for the team. Atletico Madrid manager Diego Simeone has said that it's a transition season for his team. Atletico Madrid's chances of joining the La Liga's title race are slim after home defeat to Barcelona and a draw against Villarreal. USA's golf captain Tiger Woods has defended teammate Patrick Reed, saying he does not want Reed to be subjected to abuse by fans as the upcoming President's Cup at Royal Melbourne, after Reed was penalized last week for breaching the rules. Harlem Globetrotters surprised their fans by performing their world-famous trick shots and skills in an unusual location like the Vessel at Hudson Yards in New York. They performed a variety of tricks and made baskets from all 8 levels of the vessel to a hoop on the ground. Star Screen Awards 2019 honored Alia Bhatt and Ranveer Singh with Best Actor and Actress for their performances in Gully Boy. Critics' Choice Best Actor Award was given to Ayushmann Khurrana for Article 15, while Critics' Choice Best Actress Award was given to Taapsee Pannu and Bhumi Pednekar for Sant Ki Aankh. Zoya Akhtar received the Best Director Award for Gully Boy by Star Screen Awards. Anubhav Sinha won the same award in the Critics' Choice category for Article 15. Actor Ranveer Singh completed 9 years in Hindi film industry today. The actor took to Instagram to share the news. Produced under Yash Raj banner, Band Baja Bharat was Ranveer Singh's first film. Good News starring Akshay Kumar and Kareena Kapoor Khan dropped a new song, Sauda Khara Khara. The song has been sung by B. Prak. Film critics Pradeep Biswas and Shanmugh Das paid tribute to filmmaker Mrinal Sen and Girish Karnad during the third day of the International Film Festival of Kerala. Madhuri Dixit is to make her digital debut with Dharma Productions. Director Karan Johar took to Twitter to share the news. Tim Allen, Dakota Fanning and Susan Kelechi Watson have announced the 2020 nominees for Golden Globe Awards. Disney dominated the animation category, earning 3 of the 5 nomination slots for Toy Story 4, Frozen 2 and The Lion King. Barry, Fleabag and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel are top contenders in the comedy television category. HBO's Chernobyl earned nominations in the limited series categories alongside Hulu's The Act and Netflix's Unbelievable. With 6 nominations, Netflix's divorce drama Marriage Story ruled the 2020 nominations list for Golden Globe Awards. Starring Scarlett Johansson, the film was also premiered at the Venice Film Festival. And Netflix has dominated the 2020 nominations list for Golden Globe Awards with 17 nominations. That's all we have in Express News for the moment. For all the latest, stay tuned to DD India.